All right, let's deep dive into the world of manufacturing facility managers and help you crush that interview. We've got a career guide, an interview guide, and some RoleCatcher info.
A lot to unpack to help you become the ideal candidate.
Yeah, interviews can be a little nerve-wracking, but with the right prep, you'll stand out. Before we get to those interview questions, can you give us a quick overview of what a manufacturing facility manager actually does?
Well, ensuring those buildings are safe and efficient, well-maintained, it's actually a lot more dynamic than you might think.
Okay, so more than just making sure the lights stay on. Give it a sense of the scope then.
Think about health and safety protocols, managing contractors, overseeing maintenance, ensuring everything's secure, up to code.
Wow, that's
It's a lot. Fire safety, even cleaning. Very diverse responsibilities.
no wonder the career guide mentions this role is in high demand, projected 4% growth coming up. All right, let's get to the heart of it. Those interview questions. You ready to put on your interviewer hat and throw some tough ones my way?
Let's dive in.
Okay, first question. What inspired you to pursue a career in manufacturing facility management?
They want to understand your motivations. Why this field? Why not something else?
So how do you answer without just saying, good paychecks?
Honesty is key, but also think strategically. Connect it to your strengths.
Yeah.
Love problem solving. Thrive in environments where you see tangible results.
Like a well-oiled machine, right?
Exactly. Maybe you've always been fascinated by how factories work, that complexity.
Yeah, okay, I can see that sparking an interest. So let's say that ISEOS fascinated by the process. How do you frame that in a compelling way?
You could say something like, ever since I was young, I've been fascinated by how things are made. That idea of raw materials transforming into finished products always seemed like magic. As I learned more about manufacturing, I realized it's not magic. It's this complex process. Requires technical expertise, leadership, passion for improvement, and that's what drew me to facility management. I want to be right at the heart of the action, ensuring everything runs smoothly, so we can deliver high-quality products and meet customer needs.
Nice, you've got the personal motivation, relevant skills, the bigger picture.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to add specific examples. Have you led a project involving process optimization, volunteered to improve facilities somewhere? Those details make your story come alive.
Speaking of career paths, before the next question, the career guide does mention some interesting pros and cons. It's not all smooth sailing, is it?
Right. High earning potential is there, opportunities for advancement, but it's also high stress. You need to constantly be learning.
That constant learning part stood out to me. Tech is changing so rapidly.
Absolutely. You're not just maintaining old equipment, you're adapting to new systems all the time.
Right, if you thrive on challenges, staying ahead of the curve, that's motivating. But maybe not for someone who wants a predictable workday.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for interview question number 2.
Hit me with it.
Here it is. What do you consider to be the biggest challenges facing manufacturing facility managers today?
This one, they're assessing your industry awareness. Can you think critically about the field? Not just day-to-day tasks, but bigger picture trends.
So, no complaining about the break room coffee. What are some key areas to focus on?
Think about supply chain disruptions, the demand for sustainability, the skills gap in the workforce, and that rapid pace of tech advancement we talked about.
And tailored to the company, right? If they're in pharmaceuticals, that's a whole other set of regulations.
Excellent point. Shows you've done your research. And don't just T-list challenges, offer potential solutions. How do you approach them?
So not just supply chain disruptions are tough, but here's how I've diversified suppliers before to navigate that.
You got it. Problem-solving, proactive approach. Be ready for follow-ups. They might ask you to elaborate or prioritize competing demands.
Oh, they can even ask, how do you see AI impacting this role in the future?
There you go. That's where staying ahead of the curve comes in. You could discuss AI optimizing energy, predicting failures, automating tasks.
It's as much about showing your knowledge as it is about thinking on your feet, right?
Exactly. This role is always evolving, and the best facility managers embrace that.
Speaking of which, before we get to the next T question, the career guide breaks down a manager's career into different stages.
Right. Helps to understand that trajectory.
It talks about entry-level, junior, senior positions, what you'd typically be doing at each. So entry-level, maybe assisting with planning, day-to-day support, whereas senior is leading initiatives, ensuring compliance, mentoring.
Helps you visualize where you fit in, how you want to grow.
And it even gives examples of real people at each stage, so you get a better picture.
That's helpful.
Okay, feeling inspired, let's get back to those questions. Ready for number 3?
Bring it on.
All right, here we go. Describe your experience with maintenance and repairs in a manufacturing facility.
Showcase that hands-on experience understanding of how it all works.
Should I list every tool I've ever used?
Not a laundry list. More about demonstrating you understand the different systems. HVAC, electrical, plumbing, specific production equipment.
Oh, and the career guide stresses safety too.
Absolutely. Weave that in. Familiarity with OSHA, how you've implemented safety procedures, maybe even an example of a time you prevented an accident by spotting a hazard.
Okay, good point. But what about those unexpected breakdowns? The facility manager's nightmare. How do you prepare for that in an interview?
Great chance to show off problem solving. Share a story of successfully resolving a critical failure. Minimizing downtime. Walk them through how you troubleshoot, stayed calm under pressure.
Like you're the factory hero. But what if you couldn't solve it right away? Not everything's a quick fix.
True. Acknowledge that. Maybe you had to research, consult experts, escalate it. What matters is that you're resourceful, committed to finding a solution.
So knowing when to call for help is part of it too.
Exactly. And even if the outcome wasn't perfect, talk about what you learned from it.
It's about storytelling, really. Not just listing skills, but connecting the dots. Show your problem solving, your leadership, why you fit.
You're getting it. And that's where a tool like RoleCatcher can be incredibly helpful.
Oh, yes. RoleCatcher. It's time to talk about our secret weapon for interview success.
Game changer, especially for a role this complex.
Okay, for someone hearing about this for the first time, give us the rundown. How does it work? Why is it helpful for this kind of prep?
RoleCatcher uses AI to analyze those job descriptions. It figures out the key skills and experience they are looking for. Then it helps you tailor your resume, your answers to highlight those things.
Like a personal career coach, but it's AI.
Pretty much. And it's not just keywords. It analyzes your answers to common questions, feedback on how you deliver them, clarity, even using the right industry lingo.
So it's a mock interview with an AI expert who can pinpoint where I need to improve.
Exactly. For someone who wants to learn, that feedback is gold.
Okay, I'm sold. Let's get back to those questions, though. Ready for number 4?
Lay it on me.
Here it is. How do you ensure that your manufacturing facility is compliant with regulations and safety standards?
Show you're meticulous, pay attention to detail, especially safety regs. They want to see you understand compliance and have a system for it.
Should I list every safety regulation I know?
It's more about your proactive approach, how you implement and enforce protocols.
Okay, so what kind of details impress them?
Specific examples, how you've implemented safety protocols before, regular audits, training programs, system for reporting hazards. Be specific, highlight the positive outcomes.
Like, in my previous role, I implemented a new safety training program that reduced accidents by 15%.
Exactly. Measurable results. Connect it back to their industry, too. If it's food manufacturing, you'd talk about HACCP and food safety.
Right. And I bet they'll have follow-ups about inspections, investigating accidents, what I do about a specific violation.
They will. It's not about having all the answers. It's showing that you're a problem solver and committed to a safe workplace.
Okay, challenge accepted. But before we move on to question 5, there was something interesting in the guide about certifications.
Ah, yes. Great way to show expertise and commitment to development.
It mentioned a few, like the Certified Facility Manager, CFM, and Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional, CMRP.
Very valuable credentials. Shows continuous learning, deep understanding of best practices.
Even if I don't have those yet, mentioning them shows I'm aware and maybe planning to get them right.
Exactly. Shows ambition and willingness to invest in yourself.
Okay, note to self, add those to the to-learn list. Now, question number 5. Ready?
Bring it on.
Okay, here it is. Describe your experience in managing a team of manufacturing technicians.
Ah, the leadership question. It's not just managing a facility, it's leading people.
How do you balance authority and empathy? I don't want to sound like a dictator, but I do want to show I can lead.
Highlight your experience building strong teams, creating a positive environment, empowering people to contribute.
So instead of, I told them to do it, they did it, it's more like, we worked together to develop a new schedule and an improved efficiency and morale.
Much better. You're leading, delegating, inspiring, and sprinkle in examples of how you helped people develop their skills.
I mentored this junior technician who was struggling, and she became a top performer.
Exactly. Shows you care about their growth. Be prepared for those tricky follow-ups, though. Conflict resolution, motivating underperformers, those kinds of things.
Ooh, yeah. They're really trying to get a full picture of my leadership style.
They are. That's why those behavioral interview questions are so important. Think of examples from your path.
This is really about self-reflection, huh?
Yeah.
Not just memorized answers, but really thinking about what you've done.
You got it. And that's another place RoleCatcher can help. Reflect on your experience, identify accomplishments, even get AI feedback on your answers.
Okay, before we go down that rabbit hole again, let's power through a few more. Ready for number 6?
Absolutely.
Okay, here it is. Describe your experience in implementing lean manufacturing principles.
Lean manufacturing. Show you understand this methodology, how to apply it. It's all about eliminating waste, efficiency, maximizing value.
Do I need to explain all the 5 principles of lean?
Good to know them, but they want to hear practical experience. Talk about specific projects using tools like value stream mapping, 5S, Kaizen events.
And data points. Interviewers love those.
Of course, quantify it. Reduced lead times, improved productivity, fewer defects. Show them the impact of your lean efforts.
So not just I'm a lean guru, but I led this Kaizen event, streamlined the process, cut cycle time by 20%, saved the company $10,000 a month.
Now you're talking concrete. Shows understanding A&D results.
They'll probably ask about challenges, how I overcame them.
Most likely. And about training others on lean, fostering that culture of improvement.
I see the theme here. It's not just what you know, it's how you've used it.
You got it. Problem solvers, critical thinkers, people who take acetation.
And RoleCatcher can help anticipate those tricky follow-ups so you can practice.
Like a secret weapon, helping you navigate the twists and turns.
Okay, I'm feeling ready to take on those tough questions. Ready for number 7?
Hit me.
Here it is. What strategies have you used to improve product quality in a manufacturing facility?
Show your commitment to quality. It's not just keeping the lights on, it's delivering great products. They want to see that you understand quality management systems.
So more than just saying, I make sure things are made right.
Right. They want deeper understanding. Talk about experience with methodologies like Six Sigma or TQM.
And data points, they love those.
Of course. Quantify your results. Did you reduce defect rates? Implemented a system for tracking key metrics. Be specific. Highlight the impact.
So instead of, I'm a quality fanatic, it's, I led a Six Sigma project, eliminated the root cause of this defect, saved the company $50,000 a year.
Now you're talking. Analytical skills, problem solving, commitment to quality.
I'm sure they'll ask about the specific tools I used.
They will. Be ready to discuss those and how you applied them.
It's all connected, isn't it? It's not just equipment, safety, teams, it's a whole system.
You've got it. That's what makes this role so challenging A&D rewarding. You're not just a manager, you're a leader, driving improvement.
Well, I'm feeling pumped up. We've covered a lot. Understanding the role, those tough questions, even how RoleCatcher can help.
We have, and I think our listener is well on their way to impressing those interviewers and landing that dream job.
But stay tuned. We'll be back for part 2, where we'll explore even more interview questions, career strategies, and finding that perfect company culture fit.
Don't miss it. We've got even more to share.
Until then, happy prepping.
Welcome back. Ready to dive even deeper into what makes a successful manufacturing facility manager.
You know, I'm realizing that preparing for this interview is kind of like prepping for a big game. We're strategizing, practicing, getting in the zone for those tough questions.
I like that. Mindset and preparation can make all the difference. Let's tackle some more of those interview questions.
Absolutely. Bring on the challenge. What's question number 8?
Okay, here we go. Describe a time you had to deal with a difficult situation with a contractor and how you resolved it.
Ooh, contractor conflicts. Everyone's got a story there, right? But in a manufacturing facility, the stakes are even higher.
You're right. They want to see your interpersonal skills, problem solving, how you handle tough situations diplomatically.
So what's the best way to answer? Can I just say, I make sure to have a good contract?
A solid contract is important, but they want to hear about how you handle those unexpected situations, the curveballs. Show your conflict resolution skills, staying calm, finding a solution that works for everyone.
How do I pick the right story to tell?
Think about a time a contractor wasn't meeting deadlines, maybe not following safety, causing friction with the team, something challenging, but that you resolved successfully.
Okay, so let's say a contractor's constantly missing deadlines, putting the whole project behind. How do I walk them through that?
Start by describing the situation clearly. What were the challenges, the potential impact? Then walk them through your steps. Did you schedule a meeting? Listen to their concerns. Try to understand why the delays were happening.
So finding that root cause, not just placing blame.
Exactly. Work collaboratively to revise the timeline, something that met everyone's needs.
Finding that win-win.
Right. And highlight the positive outcome. Got the project back on track. Improved communication. What did you learn that you can apply to future projects?
It's interesting, even those tough situations can be valuable, huh?
Absolutely. It's not about avoiding conflict, it's about managing it well and turning it into a positive. That's a skill you need in a leadership role, especially in manufacturing.
All right, I'm ready for more contractor conundrums. What's next?
All right, question number 9. How do you stay motivated in a role that can be repetitive and sometimes stressful?
That's a good one. Let's be honest, not every day is exciting in a facility. Lots of routine, probably some stress. How do you keep that fire burning?
They want to see your self-awareness, resilience, how you find fulfillment even in the day-to-day. You don't get discouraged easily.
So I shouldn't just say, I'm in it for the paycheck.
Financial security is important, but they want a deeper reason. What really drives you? Is it that satisfaction of keeping things running smoothly, solving problems, the feeling of finishing a project successfully?
Maybe even working with that cutting-edge tech we talked about, being part of innovation.
Exactly. Connect to those intrinsic motivators. What keeps you engaged even when things get boring or tough? Share specific examples of how you've stayed motivated.
Like, I thrive in environments where I can make a real impact. In my last role, I implemented a new energy system, reduced our consumption significantly. Seeing those results, knowing I helped make things more sustainable, that was motivating.
Perfect. Passion, problem solving, finding meaning in the work. Be ready for follow-ups, though. How do you manage stress? Stay positive. Prioritize when overwhelmed.
So it's not just about being motivated, it's having strategies to stay resilient.
Right. And be honest about your approach. Mention things like mindfulness, exercise, spending time with people you care about.
Shows you're self-aware and you take care of yourself, which you have to do in a demanding role.
Exactly.
Ready for question number 10?
Hit me with it.
Here we go. Describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision that impacted your team and how you handled the situation.
Another leadership question. This time, it's about your decision-making, communication, how you handle those tough calls, but also how empathetic and transparent you are.
What kind of situation should I use to show I can make the tough decisions?
Think of a time you had to do something unpopular. New policy, restructuring a team, even letting someone go. Something challenging, but that ultimately had a positive impact.
Okay, what if I had to implement a new safety protocol? Everyone has to wear this uncomfortable gear, but it's necessary. How do I describe that?
Start with the context. Why was this protocol needed, even if it wasn't fun? Then, how did you communicate it? Team meeting. Clear instructions, training. Did you get feedback from the team and make adjustments based on that?
So it's not just making the decision, it's how you bring the team along.
Exactly. Highlight that empathy, that you listened. Even if you couldn't change the decision, you acknowledged their concerns.
To show the good that came out of it, right? Fewer accidents, better safety awareness.
Absolutely. It shows good leadership, making those tough calls, but for the benefit of everyone.
Leadership's about those gray areas sometimes, huh?
It is. Confidence in your decisions, but also open to feedback, adjusting when you need to.
Okay, feeling better about those leadership moments. What's next?
All right. Question 11. Describe your approach to budgeting and cost control in a manufacturing facility.
Budgeting. The nitty-gritty. Important, but maybe not the most thrilling topic. How do I make this engaging and show I know my way around finances?
It's about showing you understand the money side of facility management. You can manage resources well, balance priorities, make good financial decisions that contribute to the bottom line.
Should I just list every cost-cutting idea I have?
It's bigger than that. It's about strategic resource allocation. Talk about developing budgets, tracking expenses, finding those opportunities to save, show you understand different budgeting methodologies.
But connect it back to the company's goals.
Yeah.
Right. How does saving money also lead to better efficiency, quality, happier customers?
Exactly. Show them you can think strategically, align your financial decisions with what the company is trying to achieve.
So in my last role, I implemented a preventive maintenance program, reduced equipment downtime by 10%, saved the company $50,000 in repairs, and lost production.
Perfect. Quantified specific shows impact on the bottom line A&D operations.
I'm guessing they'll ask about negotiating contracts, managing inventory, energy efficiency too.
Probably. And risk management, prioritizing investments in new equipment.
This interview really is testing everything, isn't it?
It is. It's not just one skill. It's understanding how everything connects in facility management.
Makes it challenging, but also pretty rewarding, I guess.
You got it. Seeing the big picture and the details, always learning, that's what it takes.
Speaking of learning, we talked before about keeping up with industry trends. That's important.
Crucial. Manufacturing is always changing, new technologies, regulations. Can't get left behind.
The career guide suggested certifications, conferences, professional organizations.
All excellent ways to keep learning and developing, and one of the best is the Certified Facility Manager, the CFM.
The guide really emphasized that one. Remind us what it is and why it's so valuable.
It's a globally recognized certification. It shows expertise in tons of facility management stuff, operations, maintenance, sustainability, risk management. It's tough to get. You have to prove your knowledge through coursework, exams, real-world experience.
So it's not just a piece of paper. It's a real stamp of approval.
Exactly. It can open doors to better jobs, higher salary. It gives you a real edge.
They mentioned the Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional, too, the CMRP.
Another good one, especially if you're passionate about keeping equipment running smoothly and saving money on maintenance.
And conferences, organizations, those are great for networking and just hearing what's new in the field.
Like a continuing education program for facility managers. And don't forget about RoleCatcher, all those career guides, interview guides, skill guides.
Right. RoleCatcher, our AI buddy for interview success. How can it help someone stay ahead of the curve and prep for those unexpected questions?
RoleCatcher is always updating, keeping up with the latest trends. It can look at job descriptions, see what new skills are in demand, even suggest certifications or training.
So it's not just acing this interview. It's about staying ahead in your career overall.
Exactly. That's the key to long-term success, especially in a field that moves as fast as manufacturing.
Right, I'm feeling motivated to level up my skills. Back to the questions, though. Ready for number 12.
Bring it on. Let's hear it.
Okay, here's the question. Describe your experience in working with cross-functional teams to implement new processes or initiatives.
Collaboration time. Can you work well with other departments? Engineering, production, quality. In a facility, that's crucial.
So more than just saying, I've worked with everyone.
Right. Describe specific projects where you had to collaborate. Show your communication, how you built consensus, how you understand how different departments depend on each other.
Okay, let's say I worked with engineering to implement a new automation system on the line. How would I describe that?
Start with the context, the goal. What were you trying to achieve with this new system? What was your role? Project leader, liaison between departments. Did you facilitate communication, coordinate things?
And talk about the challenges, right? Conflicts, disagreements. How I adapted, made compromises to get everyone on board.
Yes. Shows flexibility, problem solving, handling those interpersonal dynamics. And emphasize the positive result. Did the system get implemented? Did it improve things, save money, make things better quality?
Collaboration has to lead to real results.
Exactly. It's building relationships, communicating, working towards a shared goal.
Okay, feeling good about my collaborative skills. What's next?
All right, question 13. How do you stay informed about new technologies and trends in the manufacturing industry?
Staying ahead of the curve. We talked about this with certifications and development, but it's worth a dedicated question.
It is. They want to know if you're committed to learning, keeping up in this fast-moving industry. Are you proactive, curious, always looking for ways to improve?
So, more than I read industry journals.
Yes. Talk about specific resources. Blogs, podcasts, webinars, courses, professional organizations you belong to, conferences you attend.
And show how I actually use that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
New technologies I've implemented, things I've shared with my team.
Exactly. It's applying it, making an impact. Give examples of how you use those new things to improve the facility, save money, make things better.
I went to this conference on predictive maintenance, learned about this AI software that predicts equipment failures. Now I'm looking into how we can use that to reduce downtime here.
Perfect. Proactive, you connect knowledge to action, you're on top of things.
I bet they'll ask about specific technologies, 3D printing, robotics, all that.
Likely. And how you evaluate new tech, how you decide what's worth the investment.
All right, challenge accepted. But before we go there, let's talk about company culture. You mentioned finding the right fit earlier.
It's really important. Not all manufacturing companies are the same. Some are more fast-paced, high pressure. Others are more collaborative, supportive. Finding the right match makes a big difference in how happy you'll be.
So how do you figure out what kind of culture is right for you?
Think about your past jobs. What kind of leadership did you like? How much stress can you handle? Do you need lots of structure, or do you like more autonomy? Long hours or work-life balance?
Those are good questions to ask myself. And I shouldn't be afraid to ask them about their culture during the interview. Right.
Absolutely. What are their values? How do they support employees growing? What's it like to work there?
It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready to find a company that's a good match, but we've got more questions to cover. Ready for number 14.
Of course, let's hear it.
Here we go. Describe a time when you had to deal with a safety incident in the facility and how you handled the situation.
Crisis management time. They want to see how you react in those high-pressure situations. Do you follow safety protocols? Are you committed to keeping people and the environment safe?
So just saying safety is my top priority isn't enough.
It's a start, but they want a real example. A near miss, an accident, a spill, something concrete.
Okay, let's say a piece of equipment malfunctioned, started a small fire, but we got it contained quickly. How do I describe that?
Describe what happened clearly, the potential risks, what you did immediately. Follow emergency procedures. Evacuate, notify the right people, first aid if needed.
And the investigation afterwards, right? Figuring out why it happened, how to prevent it next time. New protocols, more training.
Yes. Shows you're committed to improving, to learning from mistakes, and highlight the positive outcomes. Did you contain it? Prevent more harm? Did the team become more safety aware? Did you make the facility a safer place?
Those incidents, even though they're bad, they can lead to positive changes, can't they?
They can. And being honest about what you learned, how it changed your approach to safety, that's important.
All right, feeling better about discussing those tough moments. What's next?
Let's move on to question 15. How do you prioritize competing demands and manage your time effectively in a fast-paced manufacturing environment?
Time management, the struggle is real. But in manufacturing, where things are always happening, it's got to be even harder.
You're right. This is about juggling, staying calm, making good decisions about how you spend your time and resources. Can you prioritize, delegate, meet deadlines without cutting corners on quality or safety?
Do I list every time management trick?
I know. I love a good to-do list.
Tools are helpful, but they want to hear about your thinking. What makes a task urgent or important to you? What do you do when things pop up unexpectedly? How do you make sure everything gets done right A&D on time?
So it's more about explaining my process, my strategy.
Exactly. Specific examples are good here too. Juggling projects, tough calls on what to focus on, working under pressure.
Let's say I have a big equipment installation happening. Play a WS, a routine safety audit, and ties a surprise production delay. How do I describe managing that?
Set the scene. What were the challenges? How did you decide what to tackle first? Prioritization matrix, talking to your team, stakeholders, delegating. Then, how did you actually use your time to get it all done? Overtime, changing your schedule, bringing in extra help.
Being flexible, adapting on the fly.
Yes, and staying calm, focused, organized, even when it's crazy.
Okay, feeling more equipped to handle the time management chaos. What's next?
All right, question 16, the one we all wait for. What are your salary expectations?
Ugh, the salary question. Always a little nerve-wracking. Don't want to aim too low, but don't want to scare them off either. How do you handle this one?
Know your worth, but also be realistic about what this role pays in the market. Do your research, be prepared to talk numbers, but also be flexible.
How do I figure out what's reasonable to ask for?
Online salary calculators, industry reports, professional organizations, those are all good places to start. Talk to recruiters, people in your field.
Location matters, right? Company size, industry, all that.
Absolutely. Big company in a big city is going to pay more than a small company in a rural area.
Okay, so lots to consider.
Right. And they're also watching how you negotiate. Be confident, professional, but willing to talk it through. Maybe benefits, vacation time, growth opportunities are important to you too.
It's a whole package, not just the number on the paycheck.
Exactly. Show them you're professional, you can negotiate, and you're looking for a win-win.
All right, feeling more ready to tackle that conversation.
Yeah.
What's next on our list?
Let's go with question 17. Why are you interested in working for our company?
The why us question. Seems simple, but it's a chance to show you've done your homework, that you get their mission and values, and that you're genuinely excited about the role.
You got it. Go beyond generic statements. Give them specific reasons why you want this job.
What kind of research should I be doing?
Start with their website. Mission statement, values, recent news. What do they make or do? Who are their customers? What's their culture like? Are they big on sustainability, social responsibility? Check their social media too, get a feel for their vibe.
Look up the interviewer on LinkedIn too, right?
Always good. Shows you're proactive. You can connect with other employees there too, see what they say about working there.
So instead of, I'm impressed with your reputation, I should be able to say something like, I love your commitment to X, especially that project you did with Y.
Exactly. For example, I'm drawn to your company's focus on innovation and sustainability. I was impressed by your new solar-powered facility. It aligns with my own values.
Connecting it back to what's important to me.
Right. And be enthusiastic. Let them see you're excited about this.
Okay, I'm ready to sing their praises. But before we move on, let's talk about RoleCatcher again.
Of course. It can help a lot with this why us question.
Remind us how.
RoleCatcher has tons of company profiles, all that info about mission, values, culture, news, social media. It can also analyze job descriptions, see what skills they want, so you can highlight those in your answer.
Like a research assistant and a coach helping me craft that perfect response.
Exactly. And the AI feedback can help make your answer even better, clearer, more impactful.
Okay, RoleCatcher's definitely coming to the interview with me. Ready for the last question on our list.
Let's do it.
Here it is. Do you have any questions for US?
The classic closing question. Show them you're curious, engaged, that you really want to learn more. This is your chance to gather info to decide if it's the right job for you.
So don't just say, nope, you covered it all.
Definitely not. Have some good questions ready. It shows you're taking this seriously, that you want to dig deeper.
What kind of questions are best?
Specific ones. About the company, the role, the things you talked about, their growth plans, challenges they're facing, their culture, their leadership style, what they expect from someone in this role. Ask about the team you'd be working with, development opportunities, their commitment to diversity, anything like that.
So something like, what are some of the biggest challenges you're facing, and how do you see this role helping to solve them?
Perfect. Shows strategic thinking, that you want to make a difference.
Or what kind of growth opportunities are there within the company?
Excellent question. Shows you're ambitious, you want to learn and grow.
It's not just a formality, it's another chance to make a good impression.
You got it. And listen to their answers, ask follow-ups, shows you're paying attention and you care what they have to say.
All right, feeling prepared to end strong and leave them wanting more. But one last time, let's talk about RoleCatcher and these final questions.
It can help here too.
How so?
It can analyze company profiles and job descriptions, pick out key areas, challenges, growth opportunities. That helps you come up with questions that are relevant to them, shows you've done your research.
Like my AI interview coach is helping me come up with those knockout questions.
You got it. And the AI feedback can help you fine-tune them, make them clear and concise.
Okay, RoleCatcher, you're hired. Wow. We've really covered a lot in this interview marathon.
We have job descriptions, interview questions, RoleCatcher, company culture. I think our listener has everything they need to succeed.
Feeling tired, but also pumped up. Like we just ran a mental marathon and crossed the finish line.
I love it. And I have no doubt our listener can not only ACE this interview, but thrive as a facility manager.
But wait, we're not done yet. One more part to go.
That's right. We'll tie it all together, give our listeners some actionable takeaways, and send them off feeling super confident.
Stay tuned, folks. The best is yet to come. Welcome back for the final part of our Manufacturing Facility Manager Interview Deep Dive. We've covered a lot, but now it's time to tie it all together and make sure you're feeling confident and prepared to knock that interview out of the park.
It's been great because we haven't just focused on giving specific answers. We've really explored the skills and the mindset that you need to be successful in this role. Hopefully you've learned a lot about the industry, the job, and even about yourself along the way.
Exactly. We've given you the tools to not just answer the questions, but to really impress them with your knowledge, your thought process, your enthusiasm. So what are some final steps people can take to make sure they're walking into that interview feeling ready?
Well, first things first, review that job description one more time. Make sure you really understand those key responsibilities, the qualifications they're looking for, the company's culture and values.
It's studying for an exam, right? Make sure you know the material.
Exactly. And practice makes perfect. Role play the interview with a friend or family member, or even record yourself answering common questions. It'll help you get comfortable talking about these things, and you'll be able to spot any areas where you need to improve.
That's a great tip. It's one thing to know the answers in your head, but being able to say them out loud clearly and confidently is a whole other thing.
And don't forget to prepare some thoughtful questions to ask them. It shows you're engaged, you're curious, you're really interested in the opportunity.
We talked about some great examples of those insightful questions in the last part, questions that show you've done your research, you're thinking strategically.
Absolutely. And remember, an interview is a two-way street. It's a chance for you to decide if the company and the role are a good fit for you.
So ask those tough questions about the company culture, the leadership style, growth opportunities, anything that's important to you.
And really listen to their answers. That'll tell you a lot about whether it's somewhere you want to work.
Okay, so we've reviewed the job description, practiced our answers, prepared our questions. Anything else we can do to boost that confidence and make a great impression?
Don't overlook the logistics. Plan your outfit, make sure you know how to get there, and arrive on time, maybe even a few minutes early.
First impressions matter. You want to project confidence and professionalism right from the start.
Exactly. And bring a copy of your resume, maybe a portfolio of your work, if that's relevant, and a notepad and pen to jot down notes.
Being prepared shows them you're taking this seriously and you're ready to give it your all.
And even if you're feeling a little nervous, try to relax and be yourself. Let your personality and your passion for this role come through.
That's great advice. After all, they invited you for an interview because they see something in you. Let that authenticity shine through.
And speaking of shining through, let's not forget about our secret weapon, RoleCatcher.
Oh yes, RoleCatcher. It's been such a great resource throughout this whole process.
It can help you polish up that resume, tailor your answers to specific jobs, practice your delivery, and even get feedback on things like your body language.
Like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket.
Exactly. If you haven't checked it out already, I highly recommend giving it a try. You won't regret it.
Right. We've reached the end of our deep dive. I hope you're feeling energized, empowered, and ready to ace that manufacturing facility manager interview.
Remember, you've got the knowledge, the skills, the tools to succeed. Believe in yourself, prepare well, and let your passion shine through.
And don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments along the way. Every interview, every rejection, every learning experience, it's all a step closer to your dream job.
Well said. Now go out there and make it happen.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of manufacturing facility managers. We hope you found it insightful, helpful, and maybe even a little bit fun.
The future of manufacturing is in your hands. Go out there and make a difference.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.